On December 23, 2024 at 11:50 p.m., police attempt to serve a search warrant at 489 Vanzant Road for a stolen weed eater. Police raided the wrong address, resulting in the death of 63-year-old Douglas Harless. Doug had no criminal record.
The video is hard to forget. The moments leading up to the death of Doug Harless. He was shot and killed by London police just days before Christmas as they were executing a search warrant for stolen lawn equipment that belonged to the Laurel County Judge Executive. Around 11:50 p.m. on December 23rd, London police meant to serve a search warrant to 489 Vanzant Road, but instead went to 511 Vanzant Road, where Harless had lived for about 8 years.
They had no excuse for being at the wrong house. It was clearly marked. There were 2 vehicles in the driveway registered to Mr. Harless at that address.
A lawsuit brought on by Harless's family was filed on Wednesday and accuses the London Police Department, several officers, and the City of London of violations against the 4th and 14th Amendments, including unlawful search and excessive force, as well as gross negligence and wrongful death. The attorneys representing the family say they were waiting for Kentucky State Police to finish their investigation, but it's still not complete, and the family wants answers.
They just know that folks barged in and the wrong house, shot, killed their father. And beyond that, there's such a deficit of information being given to them that it's been very difficult for them to cope and to have any type of closure.
In the days after Harless's death, Hobart Buttrey was arrested and charged with stealing the lawn equipment. The extensive lawsuit shows that Buttrey traded the lawn equipment to a man in exchange for drugs. That man previously lived at the address where the search warrant was meant to be served. The lawsuit also says a 9mm pistol was discovered on the floor of Harless's home after he was shot, but no casings were recovered.
This is Kentucky. And if you go in literally every house up and down the street, there's going to be some form of firearm there, sometimes for target practice, sometimes for protection, sometimes for both. But I would have been shocked if there weren't a pistol found there.
In a statement announcing this lawsuit, Harless's daughter said their father's death was a completely preventable tragedy, and they want to hold police accountable for their, quote, reckless error.
For almost a year, the London Police Department has stonewalled the community and family of Doug Harless, refusing to release any information on the case. This tactic is commonly used by law enforcement to avoid or minimize legal repercussion. And for almost a year, once a month, the community gathers together to protest for change. The community of London will not allow this to be swept under the rug like so many other criminal actions of law enforcement do. These same officers are still on the police department's payroll.
London police were at Douglas Harless's home to serve a search warrant connected to stolen lawn equipment belonging to Laurel County Judge Executive David Westerfield. This police report says London police were called to the property just before 9:30 a.m. on December 23rd, the day Harless was killed. According to the report, the caller was Westerfield's nephew, Charles Hensley, and he told police equipment belonging to himself and his uncle had gone missing. Hobart Buttrey was arrested in connection to the theft at 7:34 p.m., according to his arrest citation. Now, a dispatch report from that night explains minute by minute what happened. The run started at 11:26 p.m., labeled 89 Vanzant Road. Using documents obtained through open records requests, we've identified them as these 7 officers. They arrived at 11:48. Surveillance video from a neighbor shows officers making several attempts to knock on Harless's door and announcing themselves before what sounds like 5 gunshots. From the dispatch report, we know an officer told dispatch shots were fired at 11:51. That's when EMS is dispatched to the scene. At 11:52, Chief Jerry Holland is dispatched to the scene. KSP is shown en route 1 minute later. At 11:57, an officer says crews are rendering aid. Just 2 minutes later, another officer notifies dispatch a tourniquet has been applied. Around this time, Officer Cody Arnold is shown arriving at the scene. He's never listed as being dispatched or en route. Several units from the Laurel County Sheriff's sheriff's office and EMS units are dispatched and arrive in the meantime. Chief Holland arrives at 12:08 a.m. Assistant Chief Bobby Day shows up 17 minutes later. At 12:55, Officer Josh Morgan is shown arriving at the scene. He's never listed as being dispatched or en route. Seconds later, Officer Morgan and Chief Holland's status is shown as 10:12, which means officials or visitors are present. Less than a minute later, they're both shown heading to police headquarters. Chief Holland and Assistant Chief Day arrive at 1:36 a.m. KSP arrives at 4:22 a.m. and Officer Morgan is shown arriving just seconds behind them. The first 7 officers at the scene also arrive in the moments after. Kentucky State Police are investigating the shooting as is standard practice for shootings involving law enforcement. They have not released the name of the officer who fired the shot that killed Harless.
7 officers should get 7 charges. 6 for accessory to murder, and 1 for second-degree murder. Laws need to be applied equally. Negligence in this degree needs to be held accountable. The cover-up part of this is further abuse of power. Eventually, this diversion the police department calls an investigation will be completed. The head prosecutor will have obstructed justice if no charges are filed. The delay is also obstruction of justice. There are 2 sets of laws. There is a set for citizens, and the other set is reserved for law enforcement, prosecutors, and judges. This case drives that home. The law needs applied equally. Together, we can change this.